here with me, and she's also yet another wonderful speaker at Con Summit here. Your talk was yesterday.
It was.
What did you speak about?
So I talked about gamification and building a culture of innovation.
All right. Okay. Now you got me really interested. I love this stuff. So, what? A, a little bit of provocative question. What it has to do with Kong?
So mainly what it has to do with Kong is the culture of innovation. The theme of the summit this year is innovation. And gamification and my talk topic is about how we drive that into every part of the culture of the organization.
Okay. All right. How does that work? How does gamification drives innovation?
Absolutely. So gamification, for quick definition of it, is basically turning the activities that you want people to do into the activities that they want to do. It's making it fun, it's making it exciting, and it's getting people to buy into the idea organically, so you don't have to drag them kicking and screaming. So we use gamification at multiple different levels within our company, whole company events, small team events, and even one-on-one individual events to help get people in that mode of learning and being curious and asking why over and over again about the way we do things.
Excellent. And how a company like Kong, for example, can leverage this idea of gamification to drive innovation?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give you an example of one of the recent events that we just concluded last week. And it's one that I'm really excited about because it was my baby. I brainstormed it, I thought it up from the beginning and pushed it all the way through. And it was a Deep Racer League Championship event. So Deep Racer, if you don't know, is AWS's 1/18th scale race car that drives autonomously. And you train it using reinforcement learning. So it's an AI/ML learning tool.
Wow. Okay.
And we built a series of 3 events at our company that was open to everybody in the company worldwide. We had a workshop that was led by our partner AWS. They taught everybody how to log into the account, how to build a model, how to train it, how to put it into the race. And then after that, we had a virtual league race that again was company-wide. It was about 3 weeks long. And we gave people access to AWS accounts so they could go in and train their own models and play with them and really get involved in it. And then the top 4 from that event, we actually brought to our Paladin lab and had them race their models on physical cars on a physical track so that then you could see the difference between a model operating in a virtualized environment and a model operating in the real world. Because those can be 2 very different behaviors.
This is so cool. This is so cool.
It was so fun. We had really good pickup, and a lot of our participants were not our data scientists. We have a division within our company that are already doing data analytics and machine learning and all of that. Most of our participants were not that group. They were other people within the company.
And the benefit of this, except of having fun and bonding and what's not, is actually learning about the data science, machine learning, and the artificial intelligence and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's building that vocabulary, it's building the understanding of how it works, of why models fail sometimes when they go into the real world, and of what the value is of doing that type of learning.
So what rings the bell to me when I hear about it is hackathon. Right, so this is one of those gamification activities that can help drive innovation.
Absolutely, yeah, and I proposed or talked about hackathon at the individual team level in my talk yesterday, specifically because then you're tailoring it to the needs of that team, right? And hackathons are fantastic for building team camaraderie, tackling sticky problems that your team is dealing with that are too big for one person. Because you can get your whole group in there hacking on it, working on it in a time-bound way, so there's a lot of urgency built into it. And it's just exciting and fun. And when you add, prizes at the end for best creative solution or, whatever you do, and you add food and you add music, and, it's a whole big event, and it just gets people really excited.
All right, let's make it interesting. How do you justify pulling the entire team from what they're doing, and it's very important, whatever they are doing, for like a day or 2 of hacking without any guarantees that the result will be something like useful or profitable in any way?
Right. So you're touching at a common management question. And the way that we do that is we actually use a rigorous metric collection method when we're hosting these events. So for a hackathon, some of the metrics that we use are number of problems solved, number of improvements made, incremental commitments that have been done that help move the problem forward. And a lot of times the things that you go in for a hackathon with are things like a process that everybody knows is a problem. And it's not even a technical thing, right? It's a process. But you can hack on that and have creative ideas come forward and try things out and do practice run-throughs. And you can clearly show with these revisions we're recommending, if we put them in place, it makes this process go from being something that takes typically 2 days to do to 2 hours or to a day or whatever the improvement is. That's a really easy metric to push forward, especially when it's a process or a tech debt issue that's been dragging the team down for a long time. Because when you remove that, you can say, look, all of these last few months, we've had this type of challenge that we've been getting bogged down with. Now moving forward, we have this huge improvement. And over time, that adds up to way more than the costs of the one team being together for the one day doing an event. And the other metric on that one is employee engagement and employee satisfaction, which drives employee retention, and which benefits employee recruiting as well.
Of course.
Because we advertise these events out. We don't do them in secret.
Of course.
We always encourage people to talk about them, say the fun things they did. We post them out on LinkedIn and on Twitter and various other places. And so people that aren't part of our company see that we're doing these things and that people are excited about them, and that makes them come to us and ask us what opportunities we have. So there's cost reduction across the board that we quantify and count with our metrics, and that makes it so that our management is very supportive.
So is it fair to say that in order to make it successful and beneficial, you want to reduce both the scope of the people involved to maybe a team level or something like that, and also the scope of the problems that you solve, not just like throwing out, let's do like our next lunch booking application, but instead something that solves an existing and known problem?
So for individual teams, yes, you absolutely want to scale it appropriately for that team. Parsons does have an organization within it called the Fellows, which I'm a part of. It's less than 50 individuals worldwide out of our company of 17,000 that are recognized with expertise across the company. And we come together once a year for a Fellows Summit. And at that Fellows Summit, we take some of the stickiest problems that different business units across Parsons have been dealing with, and we tackle them with all of our individual expertise areas. So those ones are very big in scope, right? They're big problems that the teams smaller scale haven't been able to solve yet. And we tackle those and we go after those. So it depends on the team and it depends on the scale, how big you want it to be.
So the trick is to match between the two. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jenn, that was very, very interesting, and you got me really excited about like gamification in general and hackathons in particular. I'm going back home and I will ask our folks in JFrog when we are doing the next hackathon, and maybe when they will ask what will come out of it, I will know to operate with some of the methods that you mentioned.
Yeah,
Jenn,
absolutely.
thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate your time today.